Hello, welcome to the Showboys Newscast, bringing you all news, no opinion. I am Mike.
And I'm Nick.
Thank you for joining us. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get right to it.
For the second newscast in a row, I will kick us off.
That's right.
Not
It's
Mike.
the Twilight Zone over here.
Twilight
these
Zone.
days.
It's reversal day, reversal week, and weeks. Mike's no longer kicking these off. It's me. He just says the intro. Thank you for your time.
Well, pitter patter.
Let's get at her. Amazon acquires rights to Tolkien's The Silmarillion, blah, and Unfinished Tales. Tolkien's The Silmarillion and Unfinished Tales of Numenor and Middle-earth are set to be included in Amazon's upcoming Lord of the Rings series. These stories were not at Peter Jackson's disposal for the movies due to Tolkien's estate's disapproval of Jackson's movie adaptations. Access to these stories will allow Amazon to cover more of Middle-earth's history, like the forging of the Rings of Power. Season 1 of the Lord of the Rings series is estimated to cost a hefty $465 million, as previously reported. So that number is holding strong, and we're slowly getting more of an idea of how big this show just might be.
Yeah, and didn't we kind of postulate last time we talked about that, about how most likely that's like front loading of cost, right? To like set things up for future filming and production, etc.
Yeah. I think saying like season 1 costs that dollar figure is a little weighted because it's a lot of setup. And not to mention they're probably filming a lot of things concurrently, much like Peter Jackson did. So I'm sure, it's a little misleading.
Yeah.
Unless they blow us out of the water and they just say, yeah, season 2 costs $600 million.
Yeah. Well, hey, never know. It's Amazon. They have all the money. So
all the money to go to space too.
Yep.
Moving on in a related, got a couple here, Middle-earth related stories. Info on the Lord of the Rings release date, nudity, Sauron's appearance, and more details have been coming out. And some of these further details on the series include using fake film location scenes similar to Game of Thrones, sharing part of the crew with the upcoming The Wheel of Time show.
Mm-hmm.
Sauron will not appear in season 1. Sad face. I don't know how they know that.
Big sad.
And for whoever is interested, there is going to be non-sexualized nudity in the show. So probably just some stuff hanging out. And
I think we'll see some Hobbit dongles.
Yeah, it's just, hanging about. Nothing crazy. Just like innocent fishing trips and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just fishing with your bestie with your dongles out.
That's right.
Wheel of Time show, by the way, we talked about on Thursday. And it seems pretty interesting. And it was described as being kind of like the bridge between Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, like content-wise,
Mm-hmm.
like set in that type of realm of fantasy or whatever. But yeah, so interesting details.
The name is already hurting it. All I think it was like a game show, like Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
So they need to clean that up. I need to know more about this.
It's like a combination of that and like Days of Our Lives or whatever. So
yeah,
it makes you think of just like
exactly.
the hourglass. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just picturing daytime television all over the place. Moving on, a little, sometimes we embellish ourselves a little bit in the newscast, but this is related. The Eye of Sauron volcano and other deep sea structures discovered in an underwater Mordor here on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of Sauron, researchers have found an underwater volcano similar in appearance to the Eye of Sauron. The collapsed volcano was discovered in the Indian Ocean, and the caldera, the divot portion, is nearly 4 miles long and 3 miles wide. The 3D imagery needs to be seen to be truly appreciated here, but it does look just like the Eye of Sauron. Basically a ring with then an eye in the middle.
Nice.
It's pretty intense. And also I was reading, basically there's a slew of other discoveries that they found, and someone was just on a rampage naming things after Middle Earth names. So
Yeah, I mean, Lord of the Rings was nonfiction, you know.
Correct. Yeah, it's a real place.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of nonfiction, we have some more casting news for the nonfiction piece, The Last of Us. Fringe and Mindhunter actress Anna Torv. If you've I haven't really seen Fringe, but if you've watched Mindhunter, she is the psychiatrist lady who joins in, you know, later on. I think is there 2 seasons of that show? Anyways, she comes on later. Anyways, she's been cast as Tess in HBO's The Last of Us adaptation. Torv's character Tess is a hardened survivor and smuggler. She joins a cast that seems to be gaining household names every week, including the previously announced Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, and Gabriel Luna. So yeah, Tess is Joel's smuggling partner.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
That's coming right along. All it has to do is land.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. The cast seems to be pretty stellar so far.
Yeah, it's gonna be devastating if it just misses the runway and just burns.
Right on.
In the HBO sphere of things, while we're here, Warner Brothers is set to produce 10 movies exclusively for HBO Max in 2022. HBO Max original movies are going to see an increase in volume heading into next year. Warner Bros. Has confirmed that a minimum of 10 originals will be released in 2022. Meanwhile, the time between a movie's theatrical release and home video release will stay around 45 days, much shorter than the 75 to 9-day window that were common pre-pandemic.
Nice.
So that's
We've
interesting.
talked about that before, so glad to see that's happening.
Yeah, and they're even as we move kind of out of the pandemic only rules, we're still kind of seeing some things linger around, like this 45-day thing. Much nicer, much shorter. Sure. I won't forget. I'm less likely to forget a movie came out now right. Between it and its release date.
Right. We got some MCU news hot off the back of Loki's finale. Moonknight has cast its villain. Ethan Hawke will be joining the MCU's Moon Knight series on Disney Plus as the main villain. Hawke stated that the inclusion of Oscar Isaac from Star Wars was a deciding factor for him. Another villain, Midnight Man, also appears to have been cast. Thanks to some Reddit sleuthing, it appears that Gaspard Ulliel from Hannibal Rising, I really hope I hit that.
It sounded right. Yeah.
If I did, I'm going to be pretty impressed with myself. Anyways, he will be playing Anton Mogart, a.k.a. Midnight Man, a relatively minor villain in the comics. But, yeah, I'm excited for this Moon Knight series because we both like, what should I say? Dare I say, love Oscar Isaac. So,
yes,
that'll be fun. And then speaking of Hawkeye gets a premiere date. MCU fans can look forward to one more original series debuting this year on Disney Plus. Hawkeye will be streaming on November 24th. So in case you have forgotten who Hawkeye is, that is Jeremy Renner's character. And Hawkeye was mentioned in the recently released Black Widow movie, potentially setting the scene for the upcoming series. Spoilers if you haven't seen the movie, which I haven't, so I'm spoiling this for myself. Julia Louis-Dreyfus's mysterious character sets Yelena against Hawkeye, blaming him for her sister's death.
Wow.
Spicy. Which
riveting.
Dreyfus's character, if you recall, appeared in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, interesting stuff. Jeremy Renner will be back, which is cool. I like Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. It's hard to spoil MCU stuff like outright. I mean, it's like saying Civil War, Iron Man and Captain America were gonna get into a fist fight.
Right.
It's all baked in. We're good.
Yeah, and I think that we have some more Black Widow stuff.
Yes, we do. And this is a little bit more into the spicy end of things. Let me get ready for this.
Okay.
The headline here is Black Widow suffers the worst box office collapse in MCU history. For better And worse, Black Widow set 2 records: an $80 million opening during the pandemic and a nearly 70% drop in week 2, making just $26 million in its second week. The latter record has caused quite a stir with the National Association of Theater Owners, with NATO taking shots at Disney's decision to release it simultaneously on Disney Plus and in theaters. They argue the decision costs not only them, but also Disney money. Others are similarly upset about the release strategy.
Who could that be?
The one and only Scarlett Johansson sues Disney over Black Widow's Disney Plus release,
Gasp.
as previously reported just seconds ago on the newscast. ScarJo's legal team will attempt to fight the mouse over the previously mentioned release decision. Johansson's pay is tied to the film's box office success, so her legal team argues that the concurrent release on Disney Plus amounts to the breach of contract, and further stating, quotes, Disney intentionally induced Marvel's breach of the agreement without justification in order to prevent Miss Johansson from realizing the full benefit of her bargain with Marvel, end quote. Disney's response so far has largely to deny the allegations and politely telling the plaintiff to go kick rocks. It is hard to say her name without the Scarlet in the beginning.
Right.
It's just is always said in one.
Yeah, exactly. I'm also imagining them literally saying, please go kick rocks.
Right. Yeah, but that's a lot of, I don't know, Disney's laying themselves in the hot seat there. That can definitely be appreciated that if, a lot of these actors, especially in Marvel, they go for the extra bucks based on box office performance.
Yeah. This similarly happened at the start of the pandemic with Trolls 2 with Justin Timberlake and Anna Kendrick.
Yes.
Hey, I've seen a lot of stuff going around on the internet about like, oh, boohoo, millionaires
What's the
not
internet?
gonna get, some more millions. But also like Disney is, I don't know, her boss, right? And ScarJo is just a worker bee like us while she makes way more money than us.
Yeah.
But I'm all for her getting her bag and
I mean,
stick it to the man.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword there, right? You don't want to make a big deal out of it, but also it was in the contract.
Yeah.
But I also was reading today, basically one of those opinion articles, those clicky bait ones, but basically saying how the lack of like other MCU actors like not saying anything speaks a lot to potential future plans, because if they're planning on saying anything, they're probably have stuff going on they don't want to anger the house of the mouse.
All right.
And this kind of makes it seem like she's probably done.
Well, yeah, I mean, where else do you go? Like, do you
Right.
just keep making prequel sequels? Like,
Right.
yeah, you know what I mean? She's
Yeah.
kind of dead. But hey, whatever. I wouldn't be sad if she came back. But anyways, moving on. We got some Netflix news for you. A couple bangers here. Fear Street trilogy director hopes to create a Marvel style horrorverse. Wow, that was a tongue twister. I kind of brought this up on Thursday. Literally, I just kind of like said that sentence and then we moved on. But Leigh Janiak, director of the Netflix Fear Street trilogy, is open to building an MCU-style universe. Quote, one of the exciting things about Fear Street is the fact that the universe is big and allows for a lot of space. We have a potential here to create a horror Marvel cinematic universe. This idea is also thematically similar to the Conjuring horror franchise. We'll have to wait and see if Janiak and Netflix decide to take it in this direction, though. Excuse me. But yeah, I think like so far, The Conjuring is really the only horror property to try this. I know there was kind of like rumors for like a monster verse, not like Godzilla and King Kong, but like the original classic monster movies, like The Mummy and Dracula, etc., etc. but that kind of like fell on its face. So I don't know. I'm all for interconnected universes. So I haven't seen the Fear Street stuff, but from what I've heard is it's actually pretty good. And hey, build a world. And I'll watch it eventually.
Or make a MOBA out of it and you'll play it.
Right on. Speaking of, we got a rumor here for you that there might be a Pokemon live action series in early development at Netflix. It's yet to be confirmed, but sources have stated that a new Pokemon will be streaming on Netflix sometime in the future. Details at this time are scarce, but Joe Henderson, co-showrunner and EP of Lucifer, is rumored to be the writer and executive producer, and the series is likely to be live action. Exciting. I'm all for anything Pokemon these days. I have basically replaced my League of Legends addiction with anything Pokemon. I do find it funny also that, like, I don't know if you remember back in the day when Pokemon came out, there was a large group of Christian like pastors and followers that thought Pokemon was like straight up evil and like demonic and stuff.
Yes.
And so like I find this hilarious because the writer and executive producer is the co-showrunner and executive producer of a show literally about the devil, Lucifer.
Oh, right.
So like that's just perfect. I love it.
It all lines up.
So good. But yeah, moving on. Zack Snyder's Army of Thieves teaser trailer drops. So Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead has already spawned spin-offs, which we've talked about before. Netflix has recently released the first trailer for Snyder's Army of Thieves, which is a prequel to Army of the Dead. The movie will release later this year and will focus on Ludwig Dieter, who is the safecracker who provided a much-needed comedic relief in the original Army of the Dead. The sequel is to take place in Europe and follow Ludwig as he attempts a legendary heist. I know Army of the Dead kind of was a mixed bag in the reviews, but I thought it was a really fun, classic Snyder movie, and I loved it. And basically immediately after, like, Snyder signed a deal with Netflix and basically was given free run on this like army of, whatever universe that he's kind of building here.
Army of verse.
Yeah, the Army verse. But yeah, I'm excited. I mean, with this movie releasing like this year, right? Is that what I said? Yeah, later this year. I think Army of the Dead released also earlier this year. So they both had to have been made basically at the same time, right? So yeah, I think kind of regardless of the success of Army of the Dead, they kind of were just going forward with this.
Cutting costs, sharing crews.
Hey, I love it. I'm one of the few that pretty much loves anything Zack Snyder does. So
unbelievable.
Ludwig was a really cool character, and I loved the concept of a heist movie in a zombie apocalypse, because that's just literally insane. Like, who thinks of that? And it was fun. Anyways, moving along for last little part of Netflix news. Netflix hires EA director, and Netflix gaming is to be free with service. So wow. Yeah, exactly. Insert the what was it? Movie pitch. I forget what they're called. Anyways, Netflix's pitch meetings. That's it. Netflix expansion into gaming is starting to take shape. The content giant hired former EA and Facebook executive Mike Verdu to handle its gaming efforts. At least at first, games will be included in the current subscription service while focusing on games optimized for mobile devices. Yeah. Talk about taking the air right out of the sails. Black Mirror Bandersnatch is cited as being the beginning point of its gaming venture. Depending on the success of the initial offering, Netflix is likely to decide how deep to dive into gaming going forward. Cody is really writing the tongue twisters for this one.
Wibbity, wibbity, wibbity.
Yeah. But Black Mirror Bandersnatch was like an interactive Black Mirror movie, I say, longer episode. But yeah, I don't know. Interesting. We'll see what comes of that. Keep an eye on it.
Yeah. Sounds like what Blizzard did. Oh, mobile.
Yeah, exactly.
No one likes our PC games.
Rip.
Moving on to another short but epic Star Boys segment, where we will bring you just 2 articles about Star Wars.
You know, I keep saying it, but really do need to get on that soundbite.
Yeah. Rumor.
Anyways, continue.
Yes. The rumor is new live action Rebels character set to hunt Obi-Wan Kenobi? ? More live action Star Wars is seemingly on the way. Popular Rebels character Agent Alexandra Kallus, or this is Agent Kallus. He doesn't have a first name.
Yeah, I didn't even know he had a first name.
Yeah, me neither. I was like, that's not right. Is tasked with taking down Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi in the upcoming special event series. A few details are available, but an adventure to Onderon seems likely, and his introduction to the live action space could eventually land him in The Mandalorian as well.
Interesting.
So yeah, for those familiar with Agent Kallus and his Rebels arc, he is quite the character. He's a good one indeed.
Yeah. So
both good and bad. No spoilers there, but
yeah,
would like to see him live action.
One of many great characters from Rebels.
Ah, so good.
Yes.
So good. Speaking of Rebels, this is a previously reported rumor many times over, but Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson confirms Ezra and Thrawn casting reports. In other Star Wars live action news, Rosario Dawson, who will be playing Ahsoka in the upcoming series by the same name, confirmed the debut of Ezra Bridger and Grand Admiral Thrawn from Star Wars Rebels. Mina Massoud has been cast as Ezra. He previously starred as Aladdin in 2019, that version, live action of Aladdin, while Lars Mikkelsen bro, will star as Thrawn. Mikkelsen has also appeared in House of Cards and Sherlock.
There you go.
I think that's pretty solid. Can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
I see Mina there picking up another Disney contract.
There you go. Just keep it in the fam.
Moving on, that was all our Star Boys news. It's kind of we're hitting that lull in the year. It probably won't be till like fall, maybe even winter before that picks back up again, because there's just so much we know about. They hit the beginning of the year hard.
Isn't Book of Boba Fett coming soon? Before the end of the year?
That'll be the December, November-ish time. That'll be that series, and I think Mandalorian might just take flight like right after that. Back to back to back.
Nice.
Moving on, we have some miscellaneous news bits for you here. But Clerks 3 heads into production. Nearly 30 years after the release of the original Clerks, Clerks 3 has been confirmed to be headed into production. Kevin Smith has written the screenplay and has stated that it will be the final movie in the saga. The third film is set to return Jeff Anderson, Brian Halloran, Rosario Dawson, and of course, Jay Mewes.
Yeah, Jay Mewes.
So that's exciting. We'll see what a third Clerks can do for us. John Wick spinoff, The Continental, will be 3 episodes long. Stars is.
Yeah, it's one of those words that sucks when you're trying to say like the possessive version of it.
Stars is The Continental will be only 3 episodes long. This John Wick spinoff was originally going to be a full series, but has since been reimagined as a 3-night event series with movie length and movie budget. The spinoff will focus on a hotel chain that caters to assassins in John Wick's world and is set 40 years before Wick's movies. Keanu Reeves is currently in talks to executive produce. That's interesting. We previously talked about this as well.
So is
But
that like 3 movie length episodes?
yeah, movie and
Ooh,
budget like episodes. So
interesting.
probably like hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
Dang.
So 2 Showboys episodes in total.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Got a little rumor here in another very familiar IP, but I would say underdeveloped lately. I mean, it could really use a real strong kick into the future. But I don't know. That's just me. I'm not one for this completely. That a new original Star Trek film is in development. A new Star Trek film may be launching with an entirely new cast of characters. While the film is still in the early development phase, sources are saying that there will be an entirely new cast that's not based on the already existing television dynamics. Star Trek 4 is also in the works and may see James T. Kirk meet George Kirk, his father, and a return of William Shatner for a cameo. The next installment is expected to be released on Paramount Plus.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Yes. We talked about Rebels a little bit. At Comic-Con, they talked about an animated Star Trek show on Paramount Plus called Star Trek Prodigy. It looked really cool, and I'm sad because I don't have Paramount Plus, so I probably won't watch it, but it looked interesting. But moving on, we got 3 more articles for you guys, and I'm going to take you home. Neil Blomkamp has idea for District 10 movie. So District 9 was one of my favorite indie movies that I think I've seen. It's got to be in a top list for me. If you haven't seen District 9, please watch it. It's amazing. But yeah, the District 9 sequel, aptly named District 10, is currently being written by Neil Blomkamp, who states that the sequel will take cues from a topic in American history, a topic he sought out for a decade. We can only take guesses as to what topic it is for now, but with so much time spent finding the right fit for the world of District 9, it's sure to be an interesting one. Have you ever seen District 9?
Yes, sir.
Did you like it?
Yes, sir.
Nice. See, I'm excited for District 10. I had no idea that that was a thing that would happen, and so this article caught me by surprise. Next up, Jordan Peele has a new horror movie called Nope. Jordan, first off, I love his movie names. They're great. Us,
Yeah.
Get Out, Nope. Real easy to remember. Jordan Peele's movie-making career has been off to a hot start, and he hopes to continue that trend with his mysterious new movie, Nope. No new details have been released, but we've now been given a new poster featuring a dark cloud with a string of flags hanging out of it, hovering over a small town. Check out the poster and see what you interpret it to mean. The film will hit theaters next July, which, okay, cool. Next year, next summer, new horror movie. And speaking of new horror, Aster is developing a new horror film with A24, which is a great studio for indie films. I love A24. I was just talking to my friend about this the other day. I love their movies. But if you're a fan of Midsummer and or Hereditary, then you'll be delighted to know that Aster is developing another horror film with A24 Film Company. The movie has not been given a title, nor have any details been released, except that Aster will be joined by Michael R. Jackson, who is a Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright. Are you a big horror fan?
I would like to be more than I am. Unfortunately, I don't live with many people that like horror.
Well, I mean, you only live with 2 people.
Yep, exactly.
So
3 if you count the dog, and he doesn't like it.
Well, if you ever find yourself wanting to watch a horror movie solo,
Nope.
I have not seen Hereditary, but I've seen Midsummer a couple times, and it's great. It's not like super scary. It's just unsettling and very weird, which,
the best.
kind of my thing. But yeah, he's, killed it, no pun intended, with those 2 movies.
Dang.
So excited to see what this one will be. And okay, this is not a article or anything, but I believe there is a new A24 movie that just came out on the 30th called The Green Knight, which I want to see so bad. You should look up a trailer for that. It's in theaters.
I heard it might be like already like a certified classic.
Nice. It looks so cool. I want to see it really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all we got for you guys tonight.
Yeah. So once again, thank you for joining us. We hope you found this both entertaining and informative. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe everywhere you consume our content. Find all the places we publish our content on our link tree,
which is linktr.ee/Showboys Be sure to join our Discord server and become a member of the Showboys community to hang out with the Showboys staff and other listeners, as well as get some cool perks, such as being able to see all the articles we had to choose from for this episode, but we're not able to squeeze into the episode. Spoiler alert, there was only one that got left out of the episode. Kind of feels bad for that article, but yeah, not a lot of articles this week to choose from. Anyways, all article links covered in this episode, and even that one that was not, will be available in Discord.
And if you have anything you would like us to cover in more detail or include in the show here, please comment where available or email us at showboyspodcast@gmail.com. Or, as Mike said, join us in our Showboys Discord for all the fun we have there.
That's right. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you Thursday at 9 p.m. right here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Till then, have a wonderful evening. Good day.
Cue the